Oh, it's because this one was already done. Ish. It was the messed up one.
Okay.
This far.
Kelsey, are you sitting over here by your laptop?
Yeah.
Matt, are you sitting in the row behind her?
Sure.
I feel perfectly comfortable giving you Olivia's profit share.
I should be able to pick her up.
You seem like the person who should begin.
Well, I am apparently not very good at this because now I don't. And well, never mind. I can still that.
You guys need help?
If you want to cut.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Like bricks and crap. Super steady. Hello.
Hello. 360 days to your next birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. Thankfully.
Hopefully it was a good one.
Thankfully, 'cause the next one, no one had ever better even speak the word.
Oh. No, taking.
No, so that'll be 60.
Ooh.
So I will be very bitter. Like everyone has to spread the word that they're not allowed to talk about it. You guys need help?
No way.
I think we got it. Thank you, though.
Okay.
Lisa, have you guys gotten any showings on it?
That's all right.
We had like one. Well, you were one of them. We had one showing.
Okay.
But that's kind of it. And then, I don't know if I told you, but we had parade of homes on each side of our listing. And they had revolving door traffic.
Wow.
We got like out of all that traffic, like 5 people really should come to our listing. And I had all kinds of signs out there.
But still, I mean, just
Oh,
I got one done.
Good job.
Oh, Matt. Good?
Yeah.
Haircut?
A while ago.
Oh, welcome aboard.
Sorry, I didn't notice it.
No.
Oh, I probably didn't have it then, but yeah.
Okay. Krista Nelson?
Yes. Hey, did you see my text message? Since I sent you one? I looked.
Holy heck, Mary is going to steer us in the right direction. He said Mary's going to steer us in the right direction today.
Probably.
Tell me.
And I thought I remember you told me you had something going on today.
Misha hanging out in the back. I see you coming in the back door, trying to hide back there. Nobody hides from me.
How you doing? Good. Later when you but she apologized profusely.
Oh, my cat.
You know, like you get rugby and stuff. You always wonder if people let you know. I don't know, maybe I thought maybe you like fell asleep.
Might see
Party.
more.
Maybe you were at a party, you fell asleep, somebody did that.
What doesn't?
Matt's back.
I am.
Ryan.
Sorry. No, your first time I'm doing this.
No, I didn't think you had happy hour.
Well,
10 o'clock in the morning.
their executive director Ashley Otis, she was thinking it was her responsibility to take the rest of the home values. Wait, how we look at them. Oh,
Got it.
Got it. Alright.
Holy heck! There's Olivia. Yes, you're right.
She was very much like. Oh, really? No. And
I need to talk to you.
There he is, right again. Right as rain.
People that are in there.
What's the thing that I would make transaction? Oh, it's always so it's $170,000. Right? We're good. How are you doing? First one being official, bought a car. All right, very good, Matthew. And I think she's and I'm like, hey, I told you in our consultation, it's in bold capital print, says do not make big purchases. See, I think she got this before she put the offer in. And she got her approval, which is fine. And the lender's great. But I think it happened like when he pulled her credit, it hadn't hit yet, you know? And so, like, and she's not, like, she hasn't come out and said that she thinks it's my fault. She's kind of like, you know what? My husband, yeah. But anyways, I don't
Oh, yeah.
and he goes, hi, Andy Williams. Really, really nice. He goes, I'm confident it's going to work, but I need a couple more. Well, this is property. Oh my God, that's because I hang with you. It's being sold as is. And she's an FHA buyer. So that the appraiser came. So we did that. Yes. And her and I have been working really, really good together. And we did an addendum that says, if for any reason, it showed the repairs that we were going to make. It said, if for any reason this property was not closed by 11/1, and then in parentheses it said, expected to close 9/29, you know, seller shall pay buyers $500 in lieu of repairs made. Okay.
You are, yeah, good.
I mean, I would like it.
Yeah, true.
Surprise!
The girl with the most energy and the goofiest one is leading your team meeting today!
Is that you or him?
We've got a good little shtick plan.
It's team effort.
It's a team effort. Well, welcome everyone to the team meeting. Jamie is here today, but he has a call that he needs to be on. And so I'll be leading the meeting today, of course, with my interviewer and sidekick, the fantastic Jason Artson. So let's get started. As we have been doing recently, we want to be sure to start out the team meeting reminding you guys why we gather together, why we work together, and why we're here. Something that's really important to me at KWPR are our values. So just to remind you, because you might not look at these often enough, our values are 4 simple things. Culture. Our priorities are God, family, business, and in that exact order. That's really rare to find a company that offers that, but I'm proud that we do. Integrity. We believe in always doing the right thing. Impact. We strive to give freely of our time and talents to positively influence lives. And growth. We encourage a strong work ethic, plus consistency, systems, models, and tools to achieve results. So let's dive in. You know me, I like to have fun. Jason was kind of astonished to find out that I have a whole Pinterest board of funny little graphics and GIFs that relate to my job. I always planned to do something with them, so I thought this could not be the more perfect time. How can you relate to this? HGTV be like, I sharpen colored pencils and my wife works 1 hour a month collecting butterflies and our budget is 1.8 million. Right? Isn't that what they all see? This one I really love. It says that moment when you leave for vacation as a realtor. You get 100 calls, 200 text messages, 119 emails. Pretty spot on, right? All right, I think there's even more. Lisa, I think you can probably relate to this because we had an open house this weekend that she hosted. There was a Parade of Homes model basically next door and another luxury house across the way. And it says, you've been asking me questions for 2 hours on a Sunday? And then you tell me you already have a realtor? Or this one I feel like happens all the time. The home inspection reveals the doorbell doesn't work. Well, I better ask for all new wiring, a new furnace, a water softener, and throw in a jacuzzi tub. This is our real life, right? It's funny, but it's our real life.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the play of the week, and I've had the great pleasure of getting to know Mary as she came on with Keller Williams, and she insists that she is the worst person in this room in technology. And I point that out because there are at least 9 of you in this room who've said the same thing to me. So somewhere after the meeting, we're going to have a rumble down in the lot and see which one of you wins for worst at technology. My answer to all 10 of you who will be competing in this contest is none of you will actually be the winner. The winner isn't here right now. But in terms of the play of the week, Mary loves having a good time and to stir the pot. And I can absolutely tell you that. She is 100% a pot stirrer. However, when it comes to serving others, she gets really cooking. Mary recently took service to an unprecedented heights to ensure closing while effectively juggling the needs of multiple clients, all while cooking dinner for all the farmers that are involved in her life for every single day for 6+ weeks, or however long the harvest is, since none of us have any idea what that means, but I mean, that's a huge deal. And she brought flowers to our front counter just to brighten their day as well, when she's already out there doing all these things for other folks. So let's give Mary a hand for And if you ever need a good joke or a laugh, I promise you, she has something for you. We want to congratulate Kim Hamas on capping. It's always great to have a capper, and it is nothing better than after that going forward and 100% of your commission. So let's give a big hand to Kim. And I want to introduce somebody new, a new face that has joined us. Let's welcome Piper. Stand up there and see if I want to see you. You look like that, but I mean, come on. Up. Director of Agent Services, helping out at the front counter on a part-time basis right now, and working on getting her license. So, fantastic stuff. Glad to have you with us, Piper.
Thank you.
Withhelds, or, well, you know, withhelds. So, I'm going to pass that to my good friend, Melissa.
Well, that's maybe what he thinks about withhelds, but when we're out there competing with our buyers against Edina Realty or some of these other brokerages that claim to have all these listings just within their office, we need to remember and recognize to use this list. We need to remember this is an absolute gold mine. We would like to be sure that you have the chance to highlight your withheld listings if you have any coming up. So it looks like we have a list full here. And is there anyone in the room who is comfortable standing up or excited standing up and mentioning theirs?
Only one? Oh my gosh. Okay, so Saturday, who's gonna come and join me with their buyers for brunch, right? We'll have mimosas. Melissa's gonna be there, and we'll have pastries. Please bring your buyers. We want to beat Edina Realty, right? We want to be the ones that sell everything off market. And this is our opportunity.
Just the ones that are only allowed 4 hours.
Yes!
Like,
I know, one response. Who's got a buyer? It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-bath, no 3-bath, and a 3-car garage with a nature preserve in the back. $450.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
It is
And
pretty.
excellent marketing, excellent marketing. Anyone else? Okay, along those lines of excellent marketing, I do want to be sure to show you a tool that we have accessible to us on the North Star MLS. Actually, their rules department is really responsive. If you have a question about a North Star MLS rule, you can easily just email them. They'll respond back very promptly. But this is a tool that they have that demonstrates to us if your clients want to do this or do that, what status should they be in? So to use the contrast of coming soon, as we all know, when a house is in the coming soon status, you absolutely cannot do any showings. But the North Star MLS goes so far as to say that when it's in withheld status, you can even hold an open house. You can do showings. You can market the property. Now there's gray area and how you can market the property, and there's been recent Facebook conversation about it. I've had extensive conversations with the North Star MLS rules department, so we don't want to push those, but I do want to make sure that you understand if someone inquires with you about, my neighbor said that you're going to be listing their house coming soon, eventually, you by all means can have that communication. You can do what you did to us, and you can have individual conversation with other realtors as well, but that is gray. Please go ahead.
Because I feel like we were just told you cannot have you cannot make the call.
Right.
Greg had told me at one point, if the agent calls me, which happened to me, I had an agent call me, do you have anything coming up in Eagan? I did, and her buyer bought it. She's not a KW agent.
I printed a copy of the North Star MLS rules, and it does not state that in there. Is that our best practice? Yes, that is what we are going to recommend, that you don't call out to every realtor that you know. That is the best practice. But when it comes down to receiving a fine from the North Star MLS, they're intentionally pretty gray about it. Could you run the risk of having a code of ethics complaint or a clear cooperation violation? You absolutely could. So be careful, but I did want to bring this up.
So could I put a Facebook post out without a picture that says, hey, sphere of influence, I have a house coming up soon. Would you like to see it?
I would advise against it.
Those are the ones.
I would advise against it. Steve, you probably have history of when the clear cooperation policy came into play. Is there anything additional you can add to that?
I don't recall anything, but I'm struggling with number 2 there. Showings and open houses allowed.
Right.
In a withheld status.
Yeah.
Well, you're having an open house.
But it's only to our agents, but if that's allowed, like an open house, that would mean I could put a sign out and bring in the public.
Hang on, there's something on here about signs.
You can't do a sign unless it's still on the market. You got 24 hours once it's public.
Yes.
So you can't do a sign.
You can't do signs.
Yeah. No, there's no question about it. There are a lot of gray areas, and there's a lot of risk for receiving a fine or receiving a code of ethics complaint, which is a very inconvenient and time-consuming thing. So you don't want to get yourself into that. But I do want you to remember, you can always go to the North Star MLS, you can always check the spreadsheet that they provided.
What's the fine?
That
wasn't my question, but yeah,
I think Krista's saying it just might be worth it.
I've never had a fine before.
I have not researched that.
I have a question about listing a cruise days on market. Does it coming soon? Isn't it counting days on market when it's coming soon?
No.
Not on the MLS, some of the search sites do count it.
Yeah,
Zillow, the MLS does
Zillow will
not
count it. I had one that had
Well,
Zillow.
Okay.
Oh,
However,
here, got it.
however, maybe not days on market, but when you're using HomeSpotter and something has been out coming soon since whatever date, let's say, and then it goes active, the day it goes active, it's showing the day that it went, how long it's been on the market. So
Right.
if,
Zillow does that too.
well, no, but, so so what I'm saying is, if I'm out with a client and it's been coming soon for 7 days and I didn't realize it was coming soon, right? I just pull
It
up the
looks like it's
listing,
been on a week.
it looks like it's been on for a week,
Right,
even though it
that is
doesn't say
correct.
days on market, it says the day it went active, which I think is very misleading, because obviously a week-long listing is gonna have a different, I'm gonna be talking about it differently, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, if it shows the date that it's listed would be when you started in the coming soon status.
Yeah.
And so let's say you did that on Sunday, and then it goes live on Saturday. The coming soon date is Saturday. On Sunday, it will show, depending upon what time it went active, it would show either 0 days or 1 days on the market.
that's in the MLS, like the normal, you're looking at your computer, but when you're on HomeSpotter, it doesn't show you number of days, it just shows you the day it went active. So if I'm,
It might be helpful to have this conversation offline
Yeah.
and talk with HomeSpotter about it.
Oh.
If you'd like, yeah, I know, if you'd like, I can talk with the North Star MLS about it today, so stop in my office this afternoon. I just wanted this to be a helpful tool and resource for you, because people ask all the time, can I do this, can I not do that? Can I do this, can I not do that? There is a rules booklet, it's about 40 pages long, and this is a quick summary of it. All right, let's move on. Any other withhelds? No? Okay. All right, this is just your broker reminding you your quarterly dues are due at the end of this week. And even those of you who may have set it up on auto payment may have found that for some reason your credit card may have expired or something. So please go into your Spark portal and check. It seems like we're doing this all the time. It is indeed 5 times a month that you're paying something to Spark. A year, 5 times a year, thank you. A year feels like a month, yes. All right, oh, we can skip that one.
Can we? I don't think you can.
When Jason asked me if there was a number one thing that you'd want your agents to know, it was when we are in command, if there's anything that you want me to be alerted to in command, please remember to do in the comments at Melissa, and then give me your remarks there. If you don't do the at Melissa Johnson, then it doesn't give me an alert and I likely won't see it. Please remember that.
Stuff that's coming up. It is time for Bold. It is time to be bold. Bold's first step is on October 9. We know our coach is going to be Michael Ann Byerly, and if you haven't heard from her, she is fantastic. She is hand-selected by the Market Center to deliver an outstanding presentation. We already have a number of people signed up for Full Bold already, and not surprisingly, the people who are signed up for Full Bold are some of our best agents. And it's no coincidence that our best agents are signing up for this, because they know the value it presents. And here are top 10 reasons to attend the first step to Bold, which is free to you. Number 1, it's free. 5 hours of coaching, which is fantastic, from Michael Ann, who leads an enormous team out in Las Vegas and does a great job with them. You get to meet her, is another great reason to show up. And meeting her is one of those things. You're going to have somebody over the course of your career who wants to move to Las Vegas. It's one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. And having somebody you can refer somebody to is an amazing opportunity. So you meet her, you got a referral partner, bam, and you know her, and she's going to do a great job. Here's another thing. Amazing content's going to be there. They have continued to refine the content, and it has improved already since last year. Mastermind with top agents. We know the value of having a discussion with other top agents about what's going on, the challenges you're facing, and how you can overcome them. And that's a great place to do it. Bold strategies for a shifting market. We all know it. We've been in it. How do we continue to move forward? By learning. Let's make some money-making opportunities. Gain some referrals. Personal growth. But my favorite reason to show up, first day of Bold, is free lunch. And they say there's no such thing as a free lunch, but I'm gonna find out if there is, and I think it's gonna be right there. So October 9th at the Rosemount Community Center, and then the following weeks, we'll also be there from 9 to 2:30. And that's Bold Steps 2 through 7. If you have additional questions, wanna sign up, talk to myself, talk to Victoria, we will get you taken care of. If you talk to me, I'm gonna say talk to Victoria. So when I say talk to me, I'm really saying talk to Victoria. All right, you want to talk about some socks? You want to sock it to them?
Yes, I'm very thankful for all of your efforts in the sock initiative this month. We have collected so many, and I know that there are many more to come. And so I have partnered with Jeff Belzer, and they're going to lend us a bright red Jeep truck. And so we're going to put all the socks in the back of the Jeep truck, and then we're going to deliver that to, I have determined the link is a homeless shelter for young women. And I would like to choose a second homeless shelter, and I'm still taking recommendations if any of you feel passionate, but we're going to use it. We're going to literally put boxes in if it's not piling and overflowing, but I hope it's overflowing. And we're going to use it as a photo op for all of you so that you can say thanks to your clients for contributing those, and then we'll drive on down the road in this very cool red Jeep. So I'll let you know the date when that happens the first week of October, but thanks for what you've done so far. Also, as you know, we are proponents of good health and wellness for all of you, and so we are carving out time once a month to encourage you to focus on your health. So this Thursday, just tomorrow from 11 until noon, there will be some trainers from Lifetime who are coming to teach us about their dynamic stretch program. And they will also be helping answer questions, if you have any, about the discounted membership that you can have to Lifetime by being an independent contractor at Keller Williams Preferred. Yes. We also have something that I love, and thank you, Sarah Anderson, for also being on the board there. The Open Door Pantry is collaborating with SPAR and doing one of our community service projects that we've done here in the past. That's on Wednesday, October 4th at 9:30, right here in the training room. You don't have to bring anything. SPAR brings all the supplies. We'll just be their labor. We'll work on putting together some snack packs, and then SPAR will bring those to the Open Door so that they can share those with kids. Is there anything that you would like to add?
The snack packs are used to hand out to kids in after-school programs, and my daughter works for Homework Help, which is a program that helps kids who go home to empty houses. They can go to Homework Help, get help. Anyway, these things are put to very, very, very good use.
Good, good. And then we are so grateful for all of our ALC members, and the ALC members who are chairing up the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee are doing a special event on Saturday, October 7th at 10:30 in the morning, kind of going roughly through lunch. It's at a park just on 42 called Redwood Park in Apple Valley. Monique, is there anything you'd like to add about that?
No, we're still on, going strong.
Okay.
So come, bring your potential buyers or folks that you feel like would benefit from this.
Thanks for doing it, awesome.
So the 50K crew, Rachel Adams has been a prominent speaker at a number of our Keller Williams events like Mega Agent Mastermind, and I know a couple of our agents requested that we find some time to get her in here and talk about marketing opportunities for us. And she thought she'd give her her words.
$50,000 in commission or more by the end of the year. I mean, that'll work for me, so work for you. My name's Rachel Adams Lee, and I'm a top 1,000 agent in the country, and I'm super stoked because I'm going to be bringing a class to your office called the 50K Crew. What we're doing is, I looked at the market, and I don't know about you, but I'm feeling it this year. It is nowhere near as easy to do real estate now as it was during the pandemic. I feel like during the pandemic, you can close your eyes and a deal would come to you, and now we're having to work 3 times as hard for one transaction. So what we did on my team is we decided to go back to the basics. I picked the 5 different kinds of lead generation, which I believe to be number 1, your database, number 2, social media, Number 3, open houses and door knocking. Number 4, circle prospecting. So like for sale by owners, expired, just listed, just sold. And then number 5, converting these online leads. So we took the 5 different types of lead generation, the buckets as I call them, and then I broke them down. And we give you 5 specific strategies around each of the buckets. Like if you're talking to your database, I get you're gonna talk to your database. What script are you using? What does your follow-up look like? What is the graphic you're gonna send to them after? So what we're gonna do in this class is we're actually going to, for 2 hours, we're gonna break it all down. I'm gonna give you my systems, my tools, my strategies. And by the end of these 2 hours, you're gonna actually have the exact things you need to do every single day during your lead gen block. We're gonna apply it to a calendar. So it is a working class. And after, we're gonna have a half hour for Q&A. It's gonna be so incredible. Your market center is bringing it to you. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to hang out. So I hope to see you there. 50K crew. Are you ready?
That's pretty awesome, and I'm really excited to talk about that and have her here. That is October 12th, 12 to 2:30. That is, once again, free to you. So, you want to ask, is that going to be on Zoom? It will not be on Zoom. It is a working class. You want to schedule time to be here on the 12th. Bring your laptop so you can get the work done and leave with projects ready to go. And there's a QR code on there, if you didn't notice. Sign up. It's also in the table tents, so you need that. Oh my God, there she goes again. In addition to that, Shannon will be coming on October 26th, and we all know that a great plan for next year is going to be the basis of our success for next year. And she's going to help us plan that through a workshop. Again, that's coming up on Thursday, October 26th. And sign up for that right there. She'll also be doing a meeting the day before, kind of a mastermind to work through it for anybody who signed up for the class, which is outstanding. And we are very lucky to have her coming. Do you have anything you want to add about Shannon?
No, she's great. She's taught multiple classes here before, and a lot of the top agents participated. She's got a very small but mighty, extremely profitable team in Kansas City, runs multiple businesses and investment properties. And so Mastermind the day before is only for the people that are attending the workshop, so you kind of get 2 for the price of 1. She's fantastic. So highly recommend it. And then she's going to spend time with our leadership team because she was a very successful team leader for years, and so she's going to sit down with some of us and kind of share some of her strategies there. So
awesome. So let's get signed up for that and get our business plan in place for next year. Also, today, this afternoon, 4 to 6 p.m., Scott Nas and the North Star Commercial team will be hosting an open house at their office in Savage. The address is 14247 O'Connell's Court, Suite 275. You can go to that today. He's got stuff to eat. I'm telling you, I'm big on it. It's free. Go show your support for Scott. He'd love to have you there. That is this afternoon.
Ooh. Profit share is pretty unbelievable. It is exclusive to Keller Williams, and it is a large part of why we all choose to work here. So we were thrilled to have some incredibly large checks to be able to share with our highest profit share earners from August. So let's hear it for all these people. Steve Rawl, Dave Christensen, Cole Duckworth, Sarah Anderson, Tasha Wells, Scotty Wrigley, Carly Duckworth, Chad Stozacek, Kelly Arvidsson, and Shannon Thrown in another funny graphic, because you know how I like these. I just got a profit share check deposited into my bank account again. How annoying. Said no Keller Williams agent ever.
Right?
None of them have said that. Hey, Brian and Drake. We're up here because we want to say thank you. I know that a lot of times I put a slide up here, I call you up here, and I make funny jokes about you, but today, he's spoken enough. He said, I'm not actually going to be here. He actually told me that he is on his way to the Vatican, so I'm surprised to see him here. Because there's something about a mulching crew that I'm not really familiar with, but apparently they did some amazing work and the Vatican needs some mulch. So in lieu of that, though, Brian is and has sponsored lunch on behalf of New American Funding. So let's give him a big hand. Thank you. Great wherever you are, the same. With that in mind, we wanted to have a conversation today with Melissa and talk to her a little bit about her as the broker. But you guys may know she's a fantastic real estate agent. She's an incredible team and member, a part of a real estate team. She is an incredible leader here in the Market Center and part of our leadership team. But I think one of the most important things, and I think it's fair to say when we're talking about Melissa, is how important her family is. And she's all of these things at the same time. And that's what makes it so incredible. And that's why I wanted to have her in front of us today and kind of talk a little bit about brokering, a little bit about how do you balance all of this stuff and all the challenges that are in her life. So I want to welcome a very special and fantastic young lady here today. And we're going to do some chatting and open it up after that to see what you guys think.
All know me pretty well, but I'm hoping you might learn a thing or two that's new. And, you know, Jason stops into my office like every day for a little fireside chat, so why not just have it in front of you?
There you go. That's already crazy, right? I love how this thing is super slow. I really do. It's one of my favorite things. But, you know, it's funny I say that, but like I'll be sitting in my recliner at home and somebody will knock on the door and the recliner works. Like, really, dogs are barking, guy keeps knocking, chair's still going down. You know, we've all been there. We have been there. So I just want to start out, Melissa, again, fantastic. I'm glad to sit here with you finally. It's weird to be talking to you in front of other people now. But, you know, let's start out with a little bit about where did you come from? Let's talk about your history and where you're from and how did you get here?
Yes. So for those of you who know me really well, I'm sorry that some of this will be redundant, but you can just, you know, check your Instagram or something when you're like, I've heard that story 12 times. So a fun fact about my personal history is I was born in Northfield, and I love that part because Northfield's such a charming town, and I happened to be born around the same time as Chad Sklzacek. But then my parents merely built a house across the other side of the county road, and I ended up graduating from Lakeville. So I'm a local girl.
Lakeville. I like it.
Yeah, I'm a
Lakeville.
local girl.
So what are some fun facts that we might not know about your children? I got to learn these firsthand. I mean, Melissa and I spent some time down at the Lyon County Fair.
That's right.
And what's something that I uncovered that I want you to share as opposed to me sharing?
I was the president of my 4-H club. That's right, I was in 4-H. The 4-H's are something like heart, hands, home health, something like that. But in a weird way, it instilled really, really good values in me. Service-oriented values, rural values. I mean, I can clean up horse and, you know, cow with the best of them. And you might not envision that on me. I also ran around the Dakota County Fair like I owned the place.
Why does that not surprise me? Have you seen her wander around here or, well, anywhere you've ever been with her? She kind of does have that presence. But tell me a little bit about how you think that presence got built. I mean, what are some things, some experiences, some training, some professional stuff that allowed you to kind of take that in stride?
Well, my mom and dad both grew up on farms. They're from rural areas, and they moved to the big city, and my mom was actually a flight attendant, which I think is kind of fun. My dad worked at Honeywell, so he drove, you know, like an hour up the freeway to get to the big city. And I really credit my parents, of course, to so many things that have been instilled in my life. My dad's 82, so he's kind of an old timer and really traditional old values. But with my mom being gone so much, it instilled a lot of independence in me. I learned to become very organized. I lived in the country, so I couldn't like run home if I forgot my soccer cleats or something. I had to pack up and be gone for 12 hours, you know? Steve, you know what it's like growing up in a farming community. I didn't actually grow up on a farm, but everyone around us.
So there you are. That's your entry into 4-H, right?
That's right.
Doing those fun things. So tell us about your professional career. Florida here?
Yeah, well, when I graduated from college, I fully expected to work in corporate America. I thought for sure I would climb the corporate ladder and I would be, you know, the next CEO, maybe working in New York City or something like that. But I fell in love, and then when I fell in love, I decided to stay put and actually work for my husband's family's business. Though it was not my intention to work in real estate and sales, I completely fell in love with it.
Excellent. What company did you work for?
Fieldstone, thanks for the plug. Fieldstone
No,
Family
cheap,
Homes.
easy. I actually, free lunch, again, I'm telling you, really important.
Fieldstone Family Homes.
So what about, you know, what's something that changed your sales presentation, your style? I mean, how did you learn to sell? Because you mentioned going to college. I went to college, I didn't learn how to sell anything in college except for, well, no, I didn't learn how to sell anything.
I'm trying to teach my daughters how to sell things by doing like, you know, fundraisers and stuff, but kids are really resistant to that these days. Do you guys remember having to sell Girl Scout cookies and be like, bling, 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 would you know, be interested in buying?
I don't remember selling.
No, no.
How about popcorn?
There you go. A story that many of you have heard, but it really is impactful to me, is I was asked to work in a model home in Belle Plaine. And it was the middle of nowhere, it was the middle of the winter, and I was not real excited about it. I was asked by my father-in-law to do so, but I did so to help him out. And I was working a full-time job, and real estate was part-time at that time. And I was really, really astonished at how once I showed up, I was professional, I was very curious, I was very interested why people were out on this cold winter day looking at these houses that didn't have air conditioning included for $99,000. And I realized that when those people walked in the door, all they wanted was someone to help them, someone to hear them, someone to hold their hand and encourage them and remind them that they're making a wise financial decision and kind of help them along the way. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity to sit in that first model home. But after that, I mean, that was 2001, the winter of 2001. And as you guys know, the economy has just changed so much within that decade. And so my sales career just took off. I was absolutely loving it. And I was sitting in a training room just like this. And there was this crazy old man teaching a class. He looked like Einstein. He was just super quirky, really weird. And he asked, how many in this room sell just the way you want to be sold to? And it was like a kindergarten classroom, because the salespeople were like holding their hands up, you know, like, I do it right, and I want to tell you why. And he let them give their explanations, and then he said to them, well, then I'm going to tell you, you're losing 75% of your sales. Because there are 4 pretty distinct personality types in this world, and if you only sell to your personality type, it's really going to turn off all the others. And that, I mean, I've been to hundreds of sales training, but that legitimately changed my career and changed my life, because what it helped me remember is all these model homes that I was opening, and I was this like young, chipper, excited young lady who just wanted to spew all kinds of information. But if someone walks in who's very timid, or maybe very analytical, or maybe they're like my husband or my father-in-law, they're just very direct, they're not gonna like all my small talk chit chat, you know? So every now and then you guys probably need to remind me to use my bulls, owls, lambs, and tigers as it's referenced, and use the mirroring. But the way that the speaker broke it down, and he said some people are like bulls, they're really direct. Some people are like lambs, they're very timid. Some are tigers, they're just very excited about everything. And then some are owls. Oh, and I actually put that, I think, out of order, but the acronym is BOLT. Bulls, owls, lambs, and tigers, BOLT. And he said, you just have to take your personality, you have to put it in the back seat until you start to get to know someone, and you need to mirror them when you start a working relationship with them. And I was like, oh, yes, and it changed everything. And I try very hard now to do that.
And what would you say in the bulls, owls, lions, and tigers that you are?
Lambs.
I know it's lambs.
I think, you know, like in a setting like this, I think a lot of you might think that I'm probably a tiger, because I'm pretty, you know, I get easily excited. My dad's a real owl, so I have some of that. My husband's a real bull, so I have some of that. The one that I'm the least, I think, is the lamb, and I'm kind of a combination of all of them. I feel grateful for that.
It helps, it certainly helps, and I think you know, as you think about that, as you start to practice that with your clients, you get better at being in each of those roles, so it becomes easier for you to fit in that place when you need to. You know, Spider-Man's girlfriend is Mary Jane.
Yeah.
MJ is what they call her.
Oh.
And she calls Spider-Man Tiger. So.
Ooh, is he a tiger?
All right, so we're gonna skip ahead a little bit, but why are you here? Why are you here now?
Okay, so like I said, that decade, up until 2010, I worked hard, I played hard. Trent and I got married in 2000, so we didn't have any kids, and it was easy to work 24/7. I mean, I like legitimately sometimes worked 24/7. I don't think at that time it had on your emails that you could schedule the send. And people would be like, oh, why are you sending me an email at 3 in the morning? And I'd be like, because I'm just trying to get it all done. And then the recession hit, and man, that was a change. And so we decided to have kids. The economy totally changed. So then from 2010 to 2020, I kind of tried to maintain the same pace that I did in the first decade, but it was not realistic. And my kids, you know, were getting to the age, they were like getting to that elementary school, middle elementary school age where I recognized, right, I actually need to be very, very present in their life, like immediately as soon as they get home from school. And I hadn't done that before. We had a great village of people around us that were helping with childcare and things like that. So I just kind of hit a wall, and I called up my good friend from middle school, Olivia, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go work at Bachman's. And she said, don't be crazy. I can help you figure out something else. Keller Williams just has this great career visioning program, and the rest is history. I wound up here thanks to Steve.
Well, that's outstanding. And I think, you know, we all know the value that career visioning can present. Yeah. We'll be running that again early in the next year. And you want to participate in that if you're not already going through that with your coach. It's a huge way to help steer yourself in the right direction, and the stuff you find out about yourself stays with you. It's yours. It's such a win. So make sure if you get the opportunity to participate in that, please do. Let's talk about some favorites. I know you've brought one, so let's talk about that one first.
Well, I knew he was going to ask who my favorite agent was, so I already planned that my answer was going to be Jason Arvidsson.
I think anybody who puckers up their lips.
I brought my favorite book. If you haven't read The Energy Bus yet, you don't need to run out and grab it, because let me tell you this, there's also a kids version, and the kids version says the same thing, it's just even quicker, and so you can do your heart some good, and you can buy it for a child that you love. You can give it to them at Christmas and you can read it, and that will give you the Cliff's Notes. But it is a really pretty symbolic story, and I know Victoria and I share this. We love John Gordon. He writes all these quick, easy read books. He has a really good podcast. But the thing that applies to me when I think about how much I love working for you guys here is one of his very first rules is that you need to love all the passengers on your bus. And I truly, sincerely love all of them. So read this book.
The Energy Bus.
It's a great book.
Any other hands for The Energy Bus? Got a lot of readers of that book. Your favorite sport? Really?
I don't know. You guys are always talking about sports.
What's your favorite sport?
You're gonna ask me. Hockey.
Hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey.
Something about it. It's just like cool.
Maybe it has to do with your favorite vacation spot.
Yes. For a very milestone special birthday, my husband and I decided to go to Switzerland skiing in the winter, and it was remarkable. If you ever had the chance to do that, it was just a dream.
So snow, ice, hockey.
Winter's my favorite season.
I gotcha.
I know that's really rare.
Wow.
I know.
Can you take my share?
I like the peace and quiet of it. Yeah.
I'll trade you my share for fall. So tell us what you do. I mean, what does a day look like for you?
Yeah, so enough about me. Let's start talking about what I do here at work. But it might be helpful to remind you all that when Olivia was helping me figure out my career, she just put in front of me a job description of the broker here. And as you guys know, the broker works in collaboration with so many other important roles on the leadership team. So the broker doesn't work 24/7 like the broker did at my former brokerage. And I was like, wow, that is really appealing. And then she helped me realize there's something called time blocking and also a whole new word called boundaries. And I was like, really? Like, you're not gonna bug me at 9 p.m.? And she was like, no, as a matter of fact, we tell people, you know, like, if you don't hear back from her, she's probably doing something with her family. Please expect her return in the morning. So I work from 9:30 until 2:30 are my scheduled on hours. And as I've said to you all before, you can of course reach me anytime, but if it takes me a couple hours to get back to you, it's probably because I forgot my phone in my car and I'm, you know, running with my kids somewhere, or, you know, helping them get ready for bed or something like that. But they get off to school around 7:45, they leave the house and I get myself ready. Fitting exercise in is something that I need to adjust to my schedule. I don't do that in the morning. It's usually like changing the sheets or packing up something for the next day.
We're working on it.
I know, they're really trying to help me with this morning routine, and I appreciate that. But I get here about 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, 9:30. I get here about 9:30.
And then when you gotta go, what do you gotta go for?
Oh, well, I picked, you guys, most of you know, I pick the girls up at school, and then after that, they're exhausted, so they want a snack, and I need to force them to do their spelling words. And then they play lacrosse and hockey and dance and church and lots of activities. So it's that phase of my life where I'm doing a lot of running.
When they're not busy breaking their ankles, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
Well, that's terrible. But we'll move on from there. So what do you do at work? I actually don't know what you do.
I know. So I broke this down in preparation of this into a few key things. So the key things I do is I oversee all the contracts. I oversee professionalism and risk management. I advocate for agents when there seems to be some sort of problem, whether it be with another broker, another agent, or a client. I contribute to the vision of the Market Center. I love being a part of the leadership team. And I also consider a part of my job to infuse some fun into the Market Center as well. And then, of course, you all know you hold your license with me. So licensing is a large part of my responsibility. But thanks to the Keller Williams structure and thanks to Victoria and also the Director of First Impressions gals, all of them, they really take care of that licensing component, but it falls under me.
Sure. You mentioned risk management, and I kind of want to dig in on that because I think we all know when she reviews a contract what that kind of means. But risk management is one of the things that I have seen you work on that, I mean, people don't see and don't know what goes into that and what happens when you're helping out our agents in that way.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about
Yeah,
that?
this didn't go in the sexy job description. If there is some sort of unprofessionalism that you see in your day-to-day work and activities, you are very much strongly encouraged to file a code of ethics complaint with the state of Minnesota. We have had to do that a couple of times, and I feel those agents may have learned from that, but unfortunately, we have also received code of ethics complaints since I've worked here like roughly 6 times. And so when you get that letter in the mail, you can imagine it is very startling, it is very concerning. It would be, if you were, you know, in 4th grade like my daughter, something that you'd probably crumple and put at the bottom of your backpack and say like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna pretend that didn't happen. But the first thing you need to do is reach out to me. I'm most of the time copied on the correspondence as well, but reach out to me because my role as your broker is to make all the arrangements behind the scenes so that you can really just be there to provide the factual data and the evidence and fill in the blanks of what this one-sided complaint is doing. So I've had to work a lot with our errors and omissions insurance agency and learn what that is and like learn a little bit about insurance. I've also had to sit in these panels where there are volunteers who volunteer to be in the Professional Standards Committee for the Minnesota Association of Realtors, and they sit there as if they're witnesses, and there is a chair and there's parliamentary procedure, and it's quite intimidating. It is quite intimidating. And so it takes a lot of work to prepare for that and to kind of counsel and guide through that.
Absolutely. And I, you know, like I said, I've seen it when it happens, and I've watched it from the outside, and I know how much effort you put into that, and how important it is to us as a team. You're out there doing what you can to protect all of us and help us be successful. So with that in mind, let's talk a little bit about values and some of the stuff that you value here at Keller Williams. What makes
Before you do that, I just want to show, I brought another, I'm about visuals and like kinesthetic learning, so I just want to show you, when I say I'm file auditing, the front desk helps prepare all the listings, and then I, for all the buyer files, prepare all of these little checklists. This checklist, thank you, was established by Steve. And on every single one of your command opportunities, I go through and check these items to make sure that they're there, and then I return them to you if they're not. But August this year was one of our higher volumes of the month, so I just think it's kind of fun to see, like, these are all your closings, these are all your efforts. Congratulations, thank you for your hard work.
Every single one of them?
Yeah.
Every single one?
Every single one.
All of them?
Yeah, I mean, it's like.
It's a lot.
It's like between 1,000 and 2,000 every year. My husband had me do the math on that before I accepted the job. He's like, and how many hours do you think you're gonna fit that all in? I do it a lot, like on Thursdays is my day to audit at home, and I do it a lot on nights and on the weekends, just to get them done.
There you go. Always giving a little bit more.
My pleasure.
So
All
tell
right,
us
so
about
what do I
things that you
value?
value. Tell us about things that we do here at Keller Williams that keep you here and keep you engaged.
Since I have this chance to be in front of you, I want to make sure and plug some of the things that I value the absolute most. So thank you for giving me the chance to do it. Jason, I know you were part of the original creation of KW Connectors, and you'll probably correct me or maybe slap my hand when I say this, but I say it's like group therapy, because he does a really good job of selecting and planning and preparing for a topic. And then we all just sit around together in a circle and have like really open, really honest, really good conversation with one another that either helps give you insight into your own family, maybe your children, maybe a client that you're having a hard time working with. But I have learned so much about psychology that I never planned on learning from KW Connectors. It's making me a better person, and I strongly encourage. When you guys see it on the calendar, it's taken a little pause, but just time block it. Put it on your calendar. It's so worth it. The same thing goes for Bible study. I'm being real truthful here. I have done confirmation, I've done Sunday school, I've done retreats, my kids do all of that. I've never participated in a formal Bible study. And so we just completed our very first one yesterday, and I'm so thankful to work for a company that puts that, at the forefront of something that we should be prioritizing in our life. We even read at the beginning of it. Is it okay if I just read word for word here? At the beginning of the Bible study, we start by saying, this is important and needed personal time with God and His Word. It is not just an activity. This is a relational time and experience, not just an informational time. This is where it really hits me. Expect temptations and distractions. You are in a constant spiritual war to keep you from spending this personal time with God. It's important to thank God for His presence and ask Him to open your eyes and your heart to the truth, guidance, and power of His Word. I mean, honestly, we should all be having a Bible study right now, and we've got like 100 distractions, right? But we carve out a half hour for like real focused study of the Word, and then a half hour for just talking with one another about life and how that applies to our life. Oh, and we've switched the time. It's now going to be at 8 a.m. on Wednesdays. So if you guys would like to come in early, get your day started on Wednesdays, that would be great.
What else we got?
Oh, should I just rally down the list?
No,
Okay.
I like some of these as well. You did the one in me first, and we got that out of the way, which is great.
Yes. I really, really like the conversation calls with Colin. That's another thing. Man, you guys, put it as like an automatic scheduled reminder on your calendar. They are a wealth of information. If you guys aren't dialing in for these calls with Colin every Tuesday at 9:30, you are just truly missing out. It is so important to hear what others are experiencing in the industry, to hear good conversation about how you can handle objections that are happening. I love that we have so many volunteer opportunities here, and that we also have the chance to give back to our industry through the Association of Realtors. And as you all know, because I posted on Facebook, I would love to see you volunteering more with the St. Paul Area Association of Realtors and also with the Minnesota Association.
So I've got a couple of questions I've gotten from some agents, and then we're gonna open up the floor for you guys to have some questions with her. But one of the questions I got from an agent, and this is one of the reasons why I really wanted to put Melissa up here today and talk with her. But the question was, how do you balance the needs of what ultimately amounts to a 24/7 job with your life, how have you learned to balance those things? You talked a little bit about time blocking. You talked a little bit about, setting boundaries. But at the end of the day, all those things, team member, realtor, leader in the market center, mother of young children, that's a huge plate.
I'll be honest.
And you have clients. I
I'll
mean,
be honest. Is really not always balanced. And another truth, I don't watch TV. I would love to watch TV, but my body just doesn't do that for whatever reason. I usually sit down and work on something else. So those are a couple little hacks, but and obviously that it hasn't always been balanced. But some things that I really do accredit being able to juggle a lot of balls. First and foremost, I have Lisa to help me with my real estate. Honestly, I would not sell anything as your broker if I didn't have someone as organized and wonderful as her who's helping me. My husband is a great dad and really involved, and we have parents that are around. But things for you guys to tactically implement in your life, if you're not using Command to its fullest, you really have to. I started with a CRM because I was fresh out of college and working at a business company, and so I just figured that's the only way you do it. But a lot of my other colleagues I know had spreadsheets and felt, kind of disorganized and were pulling from checklists and writing on a napkin here, there, and everywhere. But the CRM has really, I feel, pushed my career to where it was able to go, all that automation.
As a person who loves efficiency, the less places you have to look or do something, the faster you're going to get it done. You're just cutting out steps. And when we talk about some of the stuff that you brought up, I just really think, or I really want to hit on again, is you rely on the people around you. When you talk about truly balancing and getting to an effective place, you have partners in your life, business partner, you have a life partner, you engage all of those people, because you can't do it alone. You think you can. Maybe you set up with that plan. Maybe it worked for a while, and it did.
Yeah.
And then at some point you realize it can't keep going that way. So reaching out, using systems and tools.
One other little random thing.
Yeah.
I accidentally turned off my text alerts on my phone. It's very accidental. And then I learned I absolutely loved it, because just very much like how you're supposed to lead generate and not have any other interruptions, when I don't have the interruption of those text alerts, I've also learned you can set up like a couple in case of emergencies that do still come through. So if you're worried about like your kids or your husband or something, but yeah, not having text alerts has actually been a real positive thing.
Yes, you can't do three things at once, no matter how much you think you can. You're only doing three things one after another really fast and switching between them.
That's right.
And it takes 12 minutes to focus on an activity. That's actual science, 12 minutes to focus on an activity. So if you're working on something and a text comes in, you just lost your most productive moments if you allow that to interrupt that thing. The other thing that you said, and I love this, and you started out with this, is it's not in balance. It might look like that, and we are now in a world with Facebook and Instagram, and you see everybody's highlight reel, and the reality is the highlight reel isn't life. It's a highlight reel, and it's neat to look at, but real life isn't always going to work out as smoothly and as simply as that. So, what are some favorite parts of your job that you get to do now?
Okay, my all-time favorite part of my job is that I feel needed, so that's good for my own psychology, but you guys will call me in an absolute panic about something that is upsetting you, worrying you, you feel confusion on at this moment, and then I'm telling you, like 98 out of 100 times, I never hear back from you. And that's because you already had the answer. You already knew how to manage it, you already knew how to handle it, and you just needed someone to sort of back you up or maybe verbally process it or hold your hand. I feel so proud to work with such professional, educated, trained realtors in that, when I do this for my real estate clients, I have to answer that stressful call once, and then I have to be stressed with them until the end, until closing, which all of you have to experience, right? but it's very different at working with you guys as realtors. You just manage it on your own. There's one other dirty little secret that I really love about my job, and that's auditing, because in auditing, I feel it's a little nosy, but it's awesome because I get to see like who's selling what. I get to see how long a house has been on the market, how much above asking it sold for, and then some of the things that kind of like touch at my heart is every now and then I'll see a house that maybe I helped them build, and I'm like, well, dang it, how did Michelle Hoagland get that listing? Or I'll see like a house that I know my in-laws built like way back in the day, and I kind of like the nosy part of the auditing.
I can't imagine that. No part of you that would make me think that would be fun. Hey, what kind of questions do you guys have for Melissa today? What would you like to learn from her? I like it, Brian.
If we have a real pressing matter that needs immediate attention for broker feedback, broker help, after 2:30 p.m., where do we go? What do we do?
Yeah, I would love for you to still reach out to me. Oftentimes I do answer. If I can't answer, the ALC on call is always helpful, and Greg Hartos is always available, has made himself to be available. And then also I feel like that Facebook group is really good because it's likely that you might not be the only one asking. So leave me a message and then try those 3 things: Greg, ALC on call, Facebook.
I think anybody who's left her a message in the past will be able to tell you that she gets back to them pretty darn quickly. It just may not be the right moment.
Sometimes it's the next day, like if my phone is being funky or something, that always kind of surprises me, but usually same day.
See one in the back corner?
Well, that's the iPhone, because now they're selling the new one, so mine all of a sudden is being funky.
Yeah.
Text and internet and everything is slow because they want you to go spend money on the new one.
You're right.
That is by design by Apple.
You're right.
My question is in regards to profit share. You and I have talked about profit share, and you've made some revelations or some ahas to me about profit share and what that could have done for you, say 20 years ago. So I would love your perspective on profit share and maybe your tips for everybody in the broker on this.
That's a good one. So my husband owns this construction and real estate company that I worked for basically my entire career. And they keep all of their financials, it's independently owned. They keep their financials totally private, as do, I think, RE/MAX, as do, I think, Edina Realty. And to work for a company that makes their financials so public and is so willing to say, we're going to keep our expenses at a minimum so that the extra money that we make can go back to those who've invested in spreading the word about how great our company is so profound to me. And I am legit mad at myself that when I went to happy hour with Olivia, in 2003 or whenever, that I didn't see the light at that. And so if you have young people who are interested in getting into real estate right now, just telling them that starting sooner rather than later, I'd be making the checks that, former broker over here, Steve, made if I had done that so many years ago. And I just think spreading the word and speaking positively about the culture and how much you enjoy working here is probably the best tip that you can make. It's organic and slow growth for me, definitely. So I imagine it is for you guys too.
What else do we have for a question? All right, I got one more.
We promised to wrap it up on time.
I know, we got one more and then we're gonna have a contest.
Okay.
So, what's something you didn't expect about your job?
Okay, I'm gonna tie the 2 together. I didn't expect how much it would increase my knowledge of the industry. And I also didn't expect to have Keller Williams clear values impact my personal growth. I've had so much personal growth in the past 3 years since working here. But the number one, bold law or value that I appreciate from working here is that you should fail forward. I think I had a fear of failure before. I probably realized this during Connectors. Sure, we talked about it in a group setting. And I just appreciate so much knowing that the leadership team here, if you make a mistake on a file, if you make a mistake in putting something wrong on your marketing ad, there's so much forgiveness and grace and understanding here. And they immediately go to that philosophy of, it's okay, what are you gonna learn from that now? How are we going to move forward? I didn't expect that. I didn't expect so much personal growth. But I love my job. Thanks for listening, how much I love it.
So we have a contest winner.
Good.
Somebody here came to the meeting today, didn't expect to win a contest, and it turns out they did.
And it's not the worst at technology?
That winner is Lisa Regan.
That feels rigged, Matt.
I was gonna give it to myself, but.
I got crazy. Well, thank you, Lisa. And as my commitment to you always is, we are here to finish on time because the lunch is next door. Brian is gone, so he can't hear you, but if you say really loud, thank you, Brian, he will hear you. Thank you guys for coming. It's so exciting and important to have you here. We love having you and talking to you. And I hope that if you have questions, you can always feel free that you can reach out to Melissa because she has some of the best answers in the book. And if she doesn't have them, she will get them. As always, thank you.
Music for us?
I will get some music, yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you didn't ask me about lunch.
Congratulations.
You listed off a lot of your things, you left out one thing.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Very good. Okay, let's get back to your
Well,
Yep.
thank you, Brian.
Well, this thing is pushed back against the wall.
And then actually,
If
we're not
it's-
thinking to do this up,
Huh?
she didn't use the language to shift for any of us that was saying this up. It's those meeting terms.
And where did you drive to? Oh, now I'm tired of the different pieces of it. I'm like, huh. And I just went to
Says.
I
really thought
That says, that's like.
Yeah, well, for me, it was just fun to see,
Then it says, sellers shall reimburse buyers $500 whatever it is, you know. So in there, it says, if for any reason it doesn't close by 11/1, then it says participate in it 9/20 tomorrow. And we know we need 2 more.
you know, like I told you.
So I'm representing. Lender consent. Right, doesn't that kind of cover that? I think
it was fun for a friend's experience.
So when I just have her, and she, like I said, she's been with me since great to work with, so I don't want to, that was fun. Any feathers, and I want her to be like, well, no,
You staying for lunch?
you're bound by 11 months, you know what I mean? So I just was kind of feeling her out this morning, and she called me and she goes, hey, this is the first time hearing about this, you know, and I said, yep, I just heard about it. And I said, we're going to, he said, worst case scenario.
Usually have a lot of stuff to start out.
But, he's thinking 2 weeks, he's asking for 2 more weeks to close, you know.
You're saying, we already have it.
Well, so then I said, and I go, which, I said, we already have language in the addendum, see, now the lender didn't see that. We don't want the lender to see that, because it talks about breaking or whatever. But I did tell him, I said, I don't know who I love this, and he knew that they had already all this for a big check. And he said, no, I don't, I go, I'm not gonna send you that addendum. No, I don't wanna see it. Okay, so I did share the language with him on that. And he's like, okay, that's hopeful, right? So then I brought it up to him. And I said, well, worst case scenario, so we do have language in there that says, you know, if for any reason it goes out. And she didn't like attack me, right? Like, she just said, but I don't really think that pertains to this situation. I don't know how else to do it.
Well, if you would, when it just do another
Well, we definitely will, but then she said, she goes, I'll talk to the sellers to see how they want to proceed. I really don't think they're gonna want to listen to it back on the market.
Oh, the baby.
I'm worried the sellers are gonna say, no, we're gonna put it back on the market.
right? Doesn't that, that's what I was saying. That should cover us, right?
Really works without it.
Right next door.
And you got